For the recording artist known as Prince, 1983 is the only year in the 80s he didn't release an LP. He was using that time to focus on creating his career defining masterpiece, Purple Rain, a movie, a soundtrack, and a song. 1999, October 27th, 1982, but by January 1st, 1983, it had stalled on the charts at 23, and the title track was not the massive hit that they were expecting. Prince was also touring with two bands, The Time and Vanity 6. Billed as rivals, they were anything but. The Time and Vanity 6 were being promoted and produced by the Star Company, a talent management company owned by Jamie Starr. None of this was true, though. They were prefabricated bands to make use of spare recordings that Prince had lying around to make him more money. Prince was Jamie Starr. Prince sees how much of a threat the time is becoming to him and keeps them from opening up for him on certain parts of the tour, like Los Angeles. Jelly Bean Johnson, the drummer for the time, recalls how infuriating it was playing as Vanity Six's backing band, but not being able to play their own set in front of a crowd with Magic Johnson and Quincy Jones. Prince was reaping the monetary gain of being kingpin over everyone. Denise Matthews, aka Vanity, of Vanity 6, said she had a hit single on the charts but was only getting paid $250 a show. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, however, members of the time, started moonlighting outside as producers for other bands. Prince fires both of them without consulting Morris. Vanity leaves Vanity 6. Des Dickerson, Prince's guitar player, holds a band meeting to talk to Prince about how overbearing he is, and Dr. Fink, Prince's keyboard player, says, "Well, it is this show." During the rehearsals for Purple Rain, Wendy was playing in the warehouse that was being used as a practice pad and recording studio for the movie. Wendy started playing with those gigantic sustaining chords, and then she added the ninth chord. Once that chord rang out across the warehouse, Purple Rain was galvanized as a song. There's an interesting dichotomy in these two stories and how they fall one right after the other in the book. You see that his real influence with the time is that he needs them to be an extension of him and never truly their own thing. That's why Des, Vanity, Jimmy, Terry Lewis, and Monty Moore all exited when they did. Morris played the character of an unsavory hustler when it was really Prince who was the hustler. The character of Morris Day is said to be based off of Prince's dad or Prince's barbershop friends. Prince was making the deals, only letting Morris in on what he needed to know. When I look at Green's Laws, all I see is what Prince was doing to the time. Prince was incredible at getting anyone to do things for him, and a lot of that had to do with his natural sense of timing. Natural and being a man of his own actions. Prince could get anyone to do almost anything. His charisma. This is how he got people to be dependent on him, because Prince was a steady gig for them, a one-man Motown in a way, that came out of his attitude. I would say attitude for Maxwell and Law 28 for Green. And that's the combination that Prince had that not a lot of people had. When it came to the revolution and the induction of Wendy and the writing of Purple Rain, Prince coerced the song from out of the universe. That is the only natural way I can think about it. He went looking to make sure that the song was his to write. Prince, seeing that it is Wendy that has the key to Purple Rain, trust her to bring that piece of the puzzle, to create positive change that allows Prince and the Revolution to create some of the most outstanding and creative music ever made in the future. Prince was stubborn, brash, and bold. In the early days of his career, it was being bold that made him a star. It was the songs from 1999 and Purple Rain that elevated him to mega stardom. I mean, it is interesting, though, that he was calculating the timing and everything for his magnum opus. That by the time Purple Rain was realized, the people that he had been surrounded himself with were gone. Vanity 6 was now Apollonia 6, and the time is almost unrecognizable in the movie Purple Rain. What did it take to get here? Being ruthless and cutthroat, however, did bring him to a place where he could be selfless and create the song Purple Rain with his band. A song that many will say, no, almost all will say, it is one of the greatest in the world. Purple Rain's using his talents to serve people, music to ease the pain. Because of the massive success of Purple Rain, Prince's empire grew. He replaced the time with other acts, like The Family, featuring Wendy's twin sister Susanna, who Prince had started dating. He took percussion. He also took in drummer Sheila E. The two began writing songs almost immediately, like the hit track Erotic City. Sheila E.'s influence on Prince would be huge over time. After becoming one of his proteges, she became his drummer for his 1987 tour. Sign of the times. Purple Rain gave him enough clout to make the motion picture Under the Cherry Moon and the sequel to Purple Rain, Graffiti Bridge. Movies that are better forgotten about than remembered. Their soundtracks have a couple good tracks on them, though, but the movies are not good. Purple Rain gave him the ability to build Paisley Park Studios. Paisley Park would be his home right up to his death on April 22nd, 2016. The morning of, Prince entered the elevator at his studios and died due to an overdose of opioid painkillers. April 14th, 2016, Fox Theater, Atlanta, Georgia. Prince closes out what would be his last show, Alive with Purple Rain. In 2018, his estate releases Piano and Microphone 1984, which is the legendary bootleg demo recording of Purple Rain. In closing, I think Prince as a leader could be awful, but he was practiced and self-disciplined enough that he could do whatever he wanted. He was notorious for recording so long they would have to rotate engineers, but he could do that because he was Prince. Wherever Prince is now, I want to thank him for being the gold standard for working geniuses everywhere. I appreciate everything that he has done and his library of work. And I want Prince to know he's still my imaginary best friend.